Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheelifeshow with your hostess with the mostest.
Now you don't want to introduce yourself this time. It's Romeo and Quincy.
That's right. You know what? You're gonna
And
slow down. When I do that,
what you gotta say? Say something.
I ain't gonna say something. This is lateness, and you know what, people?
Lateness.
I've been trying lateness. That's right, lateness.
I
Before
cool. Anyway, today's episode we're gonna focus on disability like we always do, but disability in athletics.
that's right. But first of all, people, before we get started, I want to make him hear the sound. Try to don't try me, baby.
That,
Don't try me.
that's how you feel? I
Don't
get okay. Cool.
don't try me, baby. You better try like something else. Don't try me.
I, I don't need to try because I can complete the things that I do. Um,
Oops.
so
Look, oops. Well, that is yes, but yes, y'all. We are talking about sports, and this is a territory for more so for Romeo because Romeo. Let me.
because I've been competing in athletics forever.
I have to be athletics, being able bodied, but I started doing athletics when I was able trying to do rugby. But we're going to dive into the subject. So let's talk about why the fact that the Paralympics and the Olympics, why disabled sports stop just like the Olympics, broadcast everywhere and people really invested to it.
Uh, the short answer to that is networks don't think it makes any money. As a person who has competed in athletics since I was about 8 years old, um, we, like I said in the last episode, the world doesn't see us. So all of that, we don't get the credit, even though we have to put in twice as much work as able-bodied athletes do. Uh, we don't get um, any credit whatsoever because um, it's just supposed to be a participation trophy or some sort of pity party. Oh, look, you're good at this and you happen to be disabled, so I should be nice to you because you're kind of good. And it's like, no, why can't I just be good as an athlete instead of being good because I'm disabled?
Hold on.
That that's that's the same sort of philosophy of you walk up to somebody and it's literally the same thing as saying you're good for a girl or you're good for a person in a wheelchair. No, I'm a good athlete because I worked at this. I'm just good. Don't put qualifiers on what I do.
Exactly, exactly. I feel the same way. I feel because you can do it for the Olympics, and then like I well, okay. So let's talk about the everybody experience. I didn't know nothing about the Paralympics until the Special Olympics, and what I said, you got these people. First of all, you got these people. First of all, you got these people that understand that they. That's when the disability came in. That's why that was like the one woman was like, I don't like to be called disabled. I like to say I have a disability, a challenge. I was like, I thought that was the same thing, but that's a
Yeah.
that's in a whole nother that's in a whole
As an athlete, I can tell you it is not the same.
that's in a whole different another conversation on etiquette. See, because like you feel it, I'm feeling, but the girl was like, no, I'll do this, and she was running what she did the 100-meter run or something like that. It's like 100, 200, and I was helping training her and a couple other people. And I understand the learning curve and all that. I said, oh, they can really run. One dude could actually really run. I said, why can't he compete in the regular Olympics and actually go to like a college? I have yet to see a person that is disabled and they let them compete in the regular Olympics because
Uh,
they have
there, There was
like you said, the
exactly
benchmark.
one instance of that, and his name was Oscar Pistorius, I believe is how you pronounce it. If you look up Blade Runner, that's him. Uh, he was nicknamed the Blade Runner because he ran in the Paralympics, and he doesn't have any legs, so of course he ran on his prosthetics.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about like the horror and the horror of that, but
Yeah, we won't get into the other side of Oscar, but
yeah, I said, why don't they really? Why don't I said these people could really run, and why don't they have like more of the inclusivity of having them in because they can really do some things, but understand that they trying to that part to understand like oh you're trying to categorize them and let them compete against other like themselves understandable, but some of these people can run like actually can compete in the Olympics as long as you let them do it, and then the Paralympics they really need to have actually
yeah, you
broadcast.
can find the Paralympics on YouTube, but you're not ever going to find the Paralympics on TV.
Yeah, well, no, like it was on TV. It's just like double. Okay, it's just like what I do, double dutch. They don't think double dutch is sport, actual sport, and you can't really find it like on. You can find it on like ESPN when they have ESPN the Sport Network where they're gonna show everything.
You
Also,
have to look really hard for sports like double dutch and jujitsu for that matter, which is what I do.
right? They don't
You
even
have to
show
look
it
really,
Olympic time or like showing the like specials.
yes. Um, which reminds me, now that you bring that up, I should go check on the IBJJF, the Olympic Committee, because Brazilian Jiu Jitsu was supposed to be in the Olympics in 20 this year. I think it was supposed to be this year. There was a meeting, and I don't know what happened with that. But as I said, that is something that is my personal venture. That is not for the purposes of this show. So that will be handled at another time. I'll make a YouTube video on it when I get information.
You know,
But
information on it, people information. How long that's gonna take you?
look, ain't nobody tell you to be doing all this on the show. This ain't a part of that. Okay. So
Well, this well, look, you are you are the athlete, the athlete,
yes, I am, which is
you
why
are the
you
athlete, and you
should let
are
me speak about my expertise here. Now, to give you some background on me, I raced, wheelchair raced, of course, from the time I was 8 until I was about 14, I want to say, 15 maybe. And then I just stopped racing. My back went bad. Scoliosis is a thing, which is something we're going to cover in our related conditions episode.
well that
Which will,
recent COVID episode conversation.
yes, my back went bad, scoliosis and whatnot, so couldn't race anymore. And then I was at home the summer I turned 18. I was at home and I was bored and I wanted something to do. So I found jujitsu, and I've been training that since I was 18 years old. Brazilian jiu-jitsu specifically, not Japanese jiu-jitsu. They are different. Just for clarification.
Well, what's the difference? I don't know nothing about. I know
Um,
it's a form of karate. That's all,
uh,
and throws and that.
First of all,
It throws.
that is grossly incorrect. It is
Well,
not
yeah,
a form
that's
of
why
karate.
we are here
I'm going.
to
I'm.
learn.
If you let me speak, I will educate you, sir.
All right, Miss Harris, I will. I'll probably be in the Pence. That'll Pence.
Okay. Yes. Now you're being pinched, so I will educate you. Karate is a system of blocks and strikes. It is the art of fighting weaponless, meaning gesture, hands, and feet. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is very similar to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but different in the sense of that it has a very sort of heaven and earth feel to it. They have a very philosophical way of teaching you how to use your body and use the ground or the earth as your friend. Now, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which is what I do specifically, shares a lot of techniques with Japanese Jiu Jitsu, but it is an offshoot of Judo because the creator of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu could not do the Judo techniques that were taught to him by a traveling Judo expert because he was too small and too weak. So, therefore, he modified it. And since he's from Brazil, his name being Elio Gracie, Elio with an H, not an A. Uh, that's how we have Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So that is a short lesson on particular martial arts and the differences between those particular martial arts.
Go ahead, Professor, because clearly, I wanted to know because I did not know. And I know
Well,
some
now
people.
you know. Today you have learned.
Yes, and some people out there like, I thought it was all yet, but it made me.
No, all martial arts are not the same. And to be specific, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu has a very heavy emphasis on ground grappling. Judo has a very heavy emphasis on standing grappling. Even though Judo does teach ground grappling, it's a whole section in Judo. It's called Nawaza. You can look it up. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu takes Nawaza and maximizes it because it is the study of leverage and the use of your body and the ground to control someone else's body. So there you go.
All right, people, as the professor of that. So, being that you are have been in disabled sports, how how does it feel competing against other people that are disabled like yourself, especially like in the wheelchair racing? And I mean, well, well, let's go with that part because you have they'll go to another question that when they go to the everybody part, when everybody part to your situation. But let's go with the disabled part, like how did it feel? How did it feel competing against other like
Competing against other athletes in wheelchairs,
yeah?
um, it felt like what I was doing. It was my job. It was I would just look. I had two jobs, and that was to race and go as fast as I can, and to throw the shot put. So that's what I did. Did I feel any sort of pressure? Yeah, because I wanted to win. Because I hate wasting my time. And training sucks. Any athlete will tell you that training camp is the worst part.
That's
The
the worst part of any sports. Hell, when I was
the,
boxing shit, and when I was jumping, I hated practice and training. Like this
the
is
day you compete is the easy day. That's the fun.
true. True that.
Because you ain't got to do nothing but show up.
So that leads me to this next question for you because you did compete with everybody people and you were disabled. How did
Yes.
that make? How did that? How now? How did that feel? That how did that feel competing with somebody everybody and how they treated you in the sport?
Um. Okay. This is. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here.
It's all right. It is. This is the show that we can do that, and we will. This in case you hear that sister, y'all. Just in case if we start doing that,
Yeah, we know.
I gave you the I gave you all the warning. We did the warning again. Matter of fact, he gonna be like this, and then you got some of this. This is really gonna do like this. But go ahead. Let's talk
Um,
about
I've been, I've ever since I started jujitsu, I've competed against able-bodied people because number one, I think it's the biggest challenge for me because I've been competing so long and grappling for so long now. Um, Competing against most disabled people are not as experienced as I am. That's just the truth. That's just facts. And even if they are the same rank, black belt, they're usually not as experienced with their bodies. So it's a very different thing for them. They are learning how to grapple as a disabled person, um, which is different from grappling when you have complete and total control and use of all your limbs. Uh, as far as how I was treated, um, this this is where the tangent comes in. Um,
here we go.
don't fucking don't be the participation trophy person. Okay,
Oh yeah. Oh please don't. I hate
don't go ahead.
I hate that as a disabled person. I hate that. Don't I hated that.
Don't be don't. There's this thing you able-bodied people like to say. You're such an inspiration. I'm gonna tell you what that really says. Oh, I couldn't do what you do. You did a good job for a person in a wheelchair because you're really not supposed to be doing this. And
And
to that I say, fuck off.
you,
Because you can't tell me what the hell I'm supposed.
Have you heard about Anchor? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is an app where you can make podcasts. It's easy to use and it's free. It has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast to Spotify and Apple. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum relationship. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
We'll be right back. We'll be back. I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I train just as hard as everybody else here. I showed up for a reason. I wouldn't have showed up if I couldn't do it.
even yes, that is right. That is say it, preach it. America, facts are facts. Monique Hart, RuPaul Drag Race. Facts are facts, America.
No one should. No one shows up if they can't do it because that's a waste of their time. And athletes don't like their time wasted. There are two people in this world that are really, really good with time: artists and athletes.
Some artists. There's not
You're right because it depends on the type of artist. Because some artists are just wow. Anyway, that could be an episode of its own.
right. Well, America facts are facts when we talk about this because what he's saying as an able-bodied person, I have seen this for myself and being disabled. I have yet to do. I was doing rugby at the time, but my secondary condition came in. I couldn't do it no more. Now COVID is COVID. We talk about COVID. That's
Yeah,
COVID episode, but
man,
because
COVID is
COVID
making me
ain't
miss the gym. That's another.
whole episode because our sports are
Yeah,
contact sports and I wonder how they're doing it. Like I wonder
yeah,
like even the Olympics, they don't got so many people. Even like the everybody Olympics, they don't got so many people like running or doing different things. So I wonder how they're doing it.
yeah, man. It's so weird just not being able to roll on those mats anymore. It's different. Having to figure out stuff to do by yourself. Um, Even though there are solo drills, I've been doing those drills for 15 years. Like, I want to actually do something, you know. I want to finish an armbar once. I haven't done an armbar all this year, so you know. But back to the way able-bodied people treat you.
Yes.
There, there's this concept that we should be praised for doing it, and we should just get. We should we should be told how inspirational and good we are, even if we lost, so that we can feel better about ourselves. I'm going to explain this to you. We don't need to feel better about ourselves. Athletes, it is true that we don't want coaches that tell us we're shit, but we also don't want coaches that don't tell us we're shit. What that means is if I fuck up and I lose and it's my fault, let it be my fault because that's how I learn. Don't come up to me and try and make me feel better because I have a disability. That just means you're using your your position of whether you believe it or not, your position of what society per- perceives as superiority because you're able-bodied to make it look like you're doing something nice. You're not doing anything nice. No one here, no one disabled, no disabled athlete needs your affirmation. It's
Say
not nice. It's annoying, and you waste both our time. If you
America
want,
facts for facts.
if you want to come up to me and talk to me about the match and ask for advice, or give me advice, or tell me that you thought you know the match was good. That's fine. But you're an inspiration. It never comes off good. It's not a good phrase. It's like when you say you're an inspiration, you're the person who is at the store and the person in the wheelchair can't reach the box of whatever it is, and you just go over there and you get it. That's the same thing, and that is never correct. Never. Okay? Because I didn't come here to be an inspiration. I came here to fucking win. That's why I signed my name on the waiver that said, it's okay if he chokes me and I die, my family cannot sue you. You are not responsible for this. That's what I sign every time I compete. I don't need your affirmation to make me feel better because I lose. Okay? If you think I did a good job, that's fine. I don't, me personally, honestly, I don't need you to tell me that. I'm an adult. But if you think that and you want to tell me that, that's cool too. Um, but it's not a necessity. Because I'm not inspiring anybody. I'm just doing what I do. I've
Yes.
been getting on a mat for over 15 years. It's what I do.
Yes. People. Facts for facts, people. Just like I can say now being disabled and used to jump and double dutch. I used to jump and teach. Now I'm more so turning. Like I tell people all the time and the basic double dutch. The main
It's
thing is the turners. You don't need to be the jumper. If the turner cannot turn for you, you're not gonna look good. And for me to this goes into another segment of now we go to a culture being disabled. Oh baby.
yeah, it's like it's the same thing as you go up to Quincy because he's coaching his jumpers, and he's giving them the pep talk. When you go in, go on, 2 paces, blah blah blah, whatever he does, and you're like, oh, you do such a great job inspiring the kids. What is he supposed to do? That's why he's there. That's his job. It's what he does.
That's why I'm trying to.
Don't
I am a sore loser, people. I am so.
don't
I'm a great sore loser, but I'm a sore loser. I don't have to lose.
let me tell you what. Every great athlete is a sore loser. And if they tell you, oh, I don't mind losing, and it was nice. It was a great match. No, I'm gonna tell you something. They hate you for telling them they did a good job. They hate their opponent for beating them, and they hate themselves for losing.
Mm-hmm. But baby, I get back on the horse. That's why a good sore loser always the one that I'll take the out. You know what? I'm not gonna take the L lightly, but L's an
Exactly. You
L.
go
Yeah,
back
but I'm
and
gonna go and do better because when we meet again, I'm not gonna lose. Give you one person I know
exactly.
against.
You don't beat me twice ever. That doesn't happen. I don't care who you are.
Mm-mm.
You never beat me twice. That doesn't exist. Doesn't happen. You never beat me. Specifically, I should say, specifically, you never beat me twice in a row. Okay, that's just not gonna happen. I will not allow that.
But coaching is able to be so like you said, like, oh, you introvert. First of all, I want to tell you, child, not to. I'm bound to inspire your child to win. That is the job, and then I know your situation because you just able to coach it. I know they really. A parent see you on the floor doing that, and they look at you like, "Well, how you coach my child?" And you
Yeah,
want
exactly. Because jujitsu is very lower body intensive. It would be the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I should say. I should be specific. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is very lower body intensive, and of course, I have to crawl because that's the preferred method of mobility for me without my chair. And parents, particularly parents, will go, "How are you going to teach my child? My child walks." Of course, they don't ever say this, right?
they say in the
They,
head, you
they
see it.
will just go. They will just go, "Hi, nice to meet you," and they would shake my hand, or but it's never a firm shake. It's never real. And you can tell if somebody trusts you or if somebody believes in you by the way they, two things: the
But
way they look you in the eyes and the way they shake your hand.
that is all body language. America, the the quote today is facts are facts. The fact is that all conversations talk about body language, and 90% of conversation is the way that your body moves and all that. And we already get a perception of how this is going to go. The other 10% is verbal,
Yeah,
but the 90
because if your
always.
body language tells me you don't believe me, I don't care what you say. And they of course they never asked me, how are you going to teach my child, right? Although I did have a few parents say that now that I think about it.
But
And
they
I
watch, and then they're gonna say something
Yeah,
that
and then I say just watch. And then they realize, oh, he can teach my child. He is good at this. And it's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years for a reason. Like, I do know what I'm doing.
America facts are facts. And that's why being a disabled coach, it's more so. It's not even the kids. The kids is going to go.
Yeah, the kids are fine.
They're gonna watch and see if you know what you're talking about and see because they're gonna get because you already get that. You always have like he coached by himself sometimes, but I know there's always been a person in the room that said, "Okay, let's do this. We're going. I'm gonna show you what the movie look like."
Yeah,
On a person, the kids gonna watch and see if you can do it. Like, oh,
yeah,
you know what you're talking about. 'Cause I see what you're doing.
exactly. Pe-
The kids,
Parents like to think their kids don't pay attention, but your kids watch everything.
everything, and they're gonna make a judgment for them like yay or nay, like and they will tell you.
Because
But
they will tell you, I don't like being coached by him. I don't want to be here. I'll
right,
tell you what, I've never had a kid say that about me.
me either.
So
And this, like I said, this I'm so adapting to the wheelchair and all that. I've never been at that. I'm trying myself to adjust to show them like this is how you can do this. You can, if
Yeah,
I
exactly. You
wheelchair,
can do this.
you can turn and you can jump at the same time. You got legs. Let me.
This is this. That's exactly what I tell every kid. They go, "I can't do this." I said, "You can do this. I can't use my legs. You can. You can do this. This is easy for you. You just have to learn what your body is supposed to be doing. But this is easy for you." And then I teach them, and they go, "Oh wow, that was really easy." I said, "See." It's a very sort of it's a very kids will tell you they don't like to learn, and what they mean is I don't like school. They like figuring things out. It's a very human thing, and it's a thing you see a lot in children. Children don't like being told how something. Children don't like being told to do something. They like to figure things out on their own.
When it
And
comes,
if you teach them how to find the path to the end and they realize that they can do it, they'll always be with you as a coach.
mm-hmm. That's when it comes to sports. Now, kids and you get told what to do. America, parents, we are telling you this. Parents, this is for you, parents.
And
Look,
if you're a parent, do me a favor. I have
facts,
to say this.
facts.
I have to say this. Do me a favor. Do not give your coach. Do not give your child technical advice. That is not your job.
Unless you've been in this sport and did it for some years and know something about it. And
Exactly.
put
That
advice
is not your job.
on that.
You brought him to me because I have actual credentials. I know what I'm doing. So let me do that, please.
Facts are facts, America. Facts are facts.
Okay. If you wanted to coach your child, then you don't need to bring him to me if that's the case. Now, this is not to say you should not encourage your child and inspire your child. You should. You did a good job today. Let's go get ice cream or whatever. Or your coach says you need to work on your arm bars or your entries or your X chokes or whatever. So when we get home, we're going to do that. You can help your child, but you cannot coach your child. You wouldn't bring him to us if you could. So let us do our job.
And like I said, America again, facts are facts. So let's talk about the disabled person that wants to do an able body sport. How would you? It's okay. So this is for both of us, but this is more for you because this is say that you want to go to. Let's see what everybody sport that I'm think or sport period that I think as an able person, not track. Well, okay, let's go. Well, I'm trying to think of it could be any sport. I am a parent that got a disabled kid that wants to do a sport.
Um,
What
First thing you need to do.
how do I pick a sport for them to want to actually I mean the sport they want to do actually get them to participate. I mean, ain't gonna say get them to participate, but get them to in it.
The first thing you need to do is make sure it's a sport that they actually want to do. Okay, don't make it. Don't be like I was a boxer, so you have to be a boxer. Like no, that's not how it works. You can introduce your child to a sport, but if they don't like it, they're not gonna do it. It's just not. It's just not gonna work. You're not gonna make. You're not gonna make a world champion if they don't want to be a world champion. That's a whole nother beast. They have to have that sort of dedication. If they don't like it, they're not gonna have it. It's not gonna happen. Now, the way you do it is you first do research on the sport, whatever the sport is. If your child says, "Okay, I'll try it," and agrees to it, you need to find a coach and you need to be upfront with that coach. My child has X disability, whatever it is. Do you think, ask the coach because they have experience, do you think this is a good idea for him?
Yes,
And
and
the coach
coaches will go because I like
will tell you, what is normally required of an athlete in their sport, and they will tell you if they can or cannot coach your child straight up.
Yes,
Because
and some coaches will tell you, like, you know, there is always, because I got hit into a little bit. Let's just see, you know, there's also a place where there's athletes like yourself that do compete in the same sport, but it's more it's more cultivated for your culture and your ways, so you can actually participate, just like us we doing here.
yeah, yes, they will send you to a specific coach, or they will tell you, yes, I can coach you, but you won't be competing in this. I would have to put you in something else because you have what you have. Um, you need to, number one, make sure your child wants to do it. Don't make them do a sport just because you did sports. Number two, you need to find a coach. Be honest with that coach. My child has X. Can you teach my child? The coach will tell you, I've never taught a child or a person with this affliction, but because this affliction, this disability, but because you said they have this, it's fine. We'll figure out a way to do it. Because good coaches can modify anything as long as the person's body is able to do it.
Yeah.
I tell everybody I can coach anybody as long as they can breathe and move on their own.
Yes,
I,
facts are facts, America. Facts are facts,
that's
and
it.
I
As
know,
long as you can breathe and move on your own, I can coach you. As long as you can jump, Quincy can coach you.
as
If
long as
you
you
can,
got, first of all, as long as you got, when it comes to double dutch, as long as you got two good working arms, and you say you don't want to jump, but you got two good working arms, you can sit there and one position or change positions a little bit. You can do double dutch. If you want to jump, as long as you got, you say you got the determination to learn a rhythm, you can do double dutch, because double
exactly,
dutch is not all jumping, it's mostly turning. So as long
exactly.
as you, like he said, as long as you can breathe and you got a body, you can do it.
Yeah, you just have to find the sport that fits you because your kid is going to go through a lot of sports. You're going to try soccer. I don't like soccer. You're going to try boxing. I don't like boxing. You're going to try track. I don't like track. It's going to take a while for your kid to find the thing. And depending on how young your child is, I made a YouTube video on this a while back. It was, in fact, my very first YouTube video. You have to, you as the parent or you as the athlete, if you're older, if you're a teenager or an adult, you have to be, especially if it's a sport like jujitsu where the whole body is supposed to be involved 100% of the time. You have to teach your coach how to coach you
Yeah,
because a lot of coaches have not worked with people with disabilities before.
sure have it. And you be the
So
first, you be the get, ain't gonna lie, you be the guinea pig just to see how they can modify and do that. But they'll work with, if you work with them, they'll work with you. But you got to be the voice to say, hey, this is not it for me. This is not
you have to say this doesn't work. Is there another way that this happens?
right.
You have to say when I do, for example, I'm gonna name a technique here. I'll explain it after I name it. When I do knee cut across pass, if I leave my foot behind, uh, I fall over because I don't have the balance for that. Is there another way to complete this guard pass? And they'll give you another guard pass. There's literally a million of them, so there's no reason not to be able to do it. You just have to let the coach know that you have balance issues, and a knee cut across pass is not the business.
Yes. And for those out there that are looking for, there's a million. Let me tell you, being disabled, I did not know there's a million bunch of sports that is called that was made for us, and made by us.
Yeah,
Like it's
there's
called bocce. I never knew what the hell bocce was, but the damn balls until I played it, and I said, oh. it's just like putting the ball close to getting the ball back. Let me tell you about your sport. Basically, you get a right ball, you throw the ball. You get if you do it by yourself, you throw the ball and you try to get your ball as close to the right ball as possible, and up to the top, knock it over or knock it where it's not close, and get to scoring the points. I'm still learning it, but I did not know that they had that game about they had bocce. What the I said this is what I said, and y'all that's why I'm cussing now. What the fuck? What the I said, what the hell was this?
Yeah, and
I see,
there are also variations of disabled sports all over.
oh yeah,
There is disabled rugby. There is wheelchair soccer, wheelchair volleyball. There's everything.
yes.
So you can find something if you look for it.
You just have to look like here in Columbus, we got a local center called the Discovery Center. I don't know, the centers are coming back open because I got reached out now, the for the winter season that's going to come up, and they want us to start by doing double dutch. So I still got to see what the regulations and how many people going to be in class because they said they want to do it for the after school thing, but they know that. I know that there was a time for us to end at 7:30, which I said that's good because they want to clean up the center and the loss. I don't know how that's rolling.
To these messages. We'll be right back.
Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm. Have you heard about Anchor? Let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is free. Anchor is an app where you can record podcasts. There are criteria tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also make money with podcasts with no minimum membership. It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I will tell you the updates on that later. Later. We can tell you updates on different stuff later on. But I know that the centers are open. But like I said, in Columbus, Ohio, there's this center called the Venture Center where they do a lot of this everything. They used to be for wall for the ropes and all that, but now they use it um for disabled things. Like my nieces and nephews, they got to experience what wheelchair football looked like. I didn't go back up there because, like I said, the secondary condition, my HO secondary condition that had prevented me to go back up there more to let them participate in basketball because one dude like this basketball is a basketball and it's a way to shoot goals or whatever. I wanted to see this for myself because I can see basically um basketball with the ball and all that and see that like
I tried wheelchair basketball way back in the day. That was an utter fail. It didn't. It was not. Wheelchair basketball was not the business. Did not work for me.
I want to see. I've seen it on YouTube and TV, but I not seen it in person. Rugby was a thing in person. I sing. I said, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to back. Look, I can bang somebody, block the ball, and all that. And me doing it, it was fun. I was just mad that my HO got figured away and all that. But now, like I said, once I get to sit fix people, I will be back in that chair doing that somehow, some way. I had to get my Facebook back. Them hackers,
When
but
when gyms open back up, uh, I'll be back on the mat. It's I'm just waiting on waiting to grapple again.
but there are places you got to look it up on your local and on the internet and your local place. Like I said, in Columbus, Ohio, we got something for that, and people will help you. They got a whole
Yes,
and everything else.
yes.
Dude, they got that in Baltimore. Well,
Baltimore has its own services as well as DCS. They both do.
I want I had to ask. I don't like I don't
I
know
know you're not from here, so you had to ask. That's
right.
fine.
I don't know how y'all stuff work, and they even got something for the people out there. Well, guys, this includes this little conversation on athletics. We
Yes.
are
Be your own advocate. If this coach does not um, know how to coach you, teach them to coach you. If they cannot do that, you leave and you find another coach. My coach, who taught me jujitsu, had never coached a person with cerebral palsy, but he took me in, and I went from white belt to black belt with him. So
That is
you
good.
you can do it. You just have to be your own advocate and make sure that you teach your coach how to coach you if they are inexperienced. That's all.
Yes, teach your coach to teach you. So, peoples, y'all can find us on Instagram at the Will Life Show. That's Will and Life. There's no two L's, there's one L. On Twitter, the Will Life Show, or the Will Life Show, no, the it's Will Life Show. And the description down below on YouTube, we have the link tree on our podcast. I don't know how Anchor doing it because we are doing our podcast on Anchor, y'all. So I think on Anchor you can click on the link to go to our main page, our main pages for our podcast, and we also click on the link in our bios and um uh, Instagram and Twitter. It'll put up our personal platforms and
Yes. Our personal platforms are also in the description of the video.
thank you. I would be talking like that. And also, we want y'all, please, people. We want y'all to comment. We want y'all to have the open conversation with us because we will do like you said, once a month. We'll do a live recording. But if we get more people to comment and talk about it, we'll do something. We'll go on live to answer y'all's question live so y'all can actually hear us and get
And see us.
and also on Anchor. That's a good thing. You can also do a video message not a video message, but a sound message to us. It's on
And
there.
we will respond.
Yes, we respond to everything. We got even that text number. You can text us. You can call because this is an open conversation. We want y'all to be interactive with us. We want y'all to comment because we love the comments and we love to teach.
Yes. Until next time, folks.
Yes, until next time. Bye.